Hello, listeners, and welcome to a brand new episode of Never Seen It. I am your host this week. My name, as usual, is Betsy, and with me is Trent.
Usually it's Betsy.
It's usually Betsy, but, you know, I might feel crazy one day and maybe change it.
That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Anywho, it's another new episode for Big Movie May. We are watching some movies that we definitely, absolutely should have seen already. And today is a little bit of a departure from the theme we've had so far, because this is not a movie that was nominated for tons of Academy Awards. It has not ended up on everyone's best of all time lists. However, this is definitely a movie that Trent should have watched by now because of its popularity. Today we are watching, from 2008, Taken. So Trent, some stats. As per usual this month, I'm giving you some notes to emphasize how big this movie that you haven't seen actually is. This movie grossed $226 million
Jesus.
worldwide. It was the number 18 movie at the box office in 2009. It spawned 2 sequels. And of course, this is the movie that launched a brand new era in Liam Neeson's career. And I don't think anybody, least of all Liam Neeson, was expecting that to happen when he made this movie.
Definitely not. And, you know, his big kind of comeback was with episode 1 in 1999. You know, people our age didn't really know what Liam Neeson's name was. And if we had seen him in anything, it was Schindler's List when, you know, they showed that to you at school.
If they showed it to you in school.
If they showed it to you at school. But other than that, I wouldn't have known him from anything. So almost a decade after episode 1 comes out, then this banger of a movie comes out and everybody seems to want to see it for whatever reason.
Except for Trent.
Yeah.
Is there some circumstantial evidence as to why you didn't see this at the time it came out and just have shown zero curiosity to watch it since then?
I mean, other than the fact that I'm kind of a contrarian by nature, I don't like going out to see things that everybody else is going to see. I didn't see Avatar when it came out. I didn't see Inception when that came out. And I didn't see Inception until you and I got together.
I will point out this was in about a 2-year span of time that you are referencing. All of these movies came out around the same time.
I know. And I think, you know, I wasn't making a lot of money at the time. I wasn't dating anybody at the time, or at least the dates that I was going on were not like movie dates. So, you know, I just wasn't into popular culture, and I still am not.
And you just don't like being told what to do. So when 400 people at work are saying, oh my God, you got to go see Taken, you're going to be like, no, I don't have to go see Taken.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I also looked up some stats about this movie, specifically the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay.
So I think this is kind of telling. The critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is 60%. Okay.
Which is, I would say, for this kind of a movie, about where you'd expect it to be.
For this kind of a genre of movie, critics are just not really going to be that into it, I would imagine. But the audience score is 85.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And, you know, again, I haven't seen this movie, but all of the stuff that has come out from this movie, it is the line of dialogue where he's on the phone. I know about that thing. I know he has a very specific set of skills that he is going to employ to get his daughter back because, hey, the title of the movie is Taken. His daughter was kidnapped. But other than that kind of base of knowledge, I don't really know what else is going to go on here. Like you said, I know there is a couple of sequels here, and I imagine it's because, hey, this movie was really successful, and kind of discount the fact that, okay, who else got taken in the sequels? Was it the same daughter who got taken? Was it a different daughter?
Did he get taken by himself?
Yeah. So
I've actually never seen the sequels, so I can't speak to those. But as I understand, it's diminishing returns. But
I imagine.
We're not talking about the sequels. We're talking about the original. Is there anything else you know? I know this is one of those very like memeable kind of movies. So I imagine there's stuff that you've seen and you maybe don't even realize it's from this movie.
Probably. I mean, we covered Cold Pursuit a couple of years ago, which is kind of, it's not quite a spoof, but it is a reimagining of kind of the same thing.
It's Liam Neeson in another thing like this, but funny.
I don't think it was intentionally funny, but go listen to that episode and watch that movie. You should really watch
You
that
should
movie.
watch
It's
that
really
movie.
great.
If you're listening to this episode because you love Taken,
Yeah.
you should absolutely watch Cold Pursuit.
And that's the thing. I have no idea if this is going to be like very self-serious or if there's any kind of levity whatsoever, or is it just Liam Neeson being a badass? And this is just kind of the impetus behind Liam Neeson being cast as this big action star.
Who knew?
Who knew? I mean, it's certainly not him.
It's true. Well, we'll elaborate more on that after we watch the movie. So right now we are going to go and watch Taken, and we will be right back. And we're back. That was Liam Neeson's Taken. Trent, were you taken with this movie?
No. So, this is the movie that kicked off all of these extremely mediocre action movies.
I wouldn't say it kicked it off, but it certainly birthed a subgenre that we have been enjoying for the last 15, 16 years.
Enjoying is a generous term, Betsy. Yeah, I can see how this movie kind of took the world, or at least Americans, by storm. But, oh boy, I was reminded, just to get into the comparisons here, I was reminded of two different movie franchises, not just movies, but franchises. The first one being kind of the original one of these movies, at least of the modern era, that movie being The Transporter, and the other one, of course, being John Wick.
One that came before, and probably to a minimal extent at least, could have inspired Taken, the latter of which was what I think is pretty obviously inspired by Taken. I think without Taken, John Wick doesn't exist.
I think this movie is kind of an amalgamation of both. And I know in the timeline it doesn't make any sense, but like setting wise and conflict wise and action wise, The Transporter is very, very similar to this movie. It even has the same fucking location. And the fact that, okay, this is this retired military man who has some skills and he wants to hang it up and he wants to, live a quiet life. And you said you have only ever seen The Transporter once, at least the first one anyway. I've not seen the sequels for The Transporter, but I absolutely love that first movie. I know it's not a great movie, but it has some of the best hand-to-hand combat fight scenes that I have ever seen in a movie. And probably the one that everybody's going to talk about is the John Wick series because, again, it is a retired guy who wants to spend time with his family. He has a lot of skills, and something happens that gets him out of retirement, so to speak.
Drags him out of retirement, more likely.
Yeah. So I don't think that they were trying to evoke anything with this movie. I just feel like they wanted to make an action movie, and Liam Neeson said yes.
No, that's exactly what was happening here. Like, literally, if you read a little bit about the making of this movie, Liam Neeson really only agreed to do this because he wanted to spend 4 months in Paris and learn karate.
Yeah.
It wasn't more complicated than that. This was a guy at this point in his career, as we said, was not really offered these kinds of movies. So he said, okay, I will do this movie. And when you're watching this movie screams like low to mid budget action movie. The way it is staged, the way it looks, the music choices,
The casting.
There is nothing extraordinary about this film on the surface. There really isn't.
No.
But for some reason, there was some special sauce that this movie just hit at exactly the right time and spoke to the populace. I can't explain it because
neither can I.
Because you know what? You're right. There are lots of comparisons to those other movies, and I don't even think that they necessarily have anything to do with each other. This is just a trope of action movies. A guy who just wants to be retired and gets in for one last job. Whether it is because his crew drags him into it, because life forces him into it. It's just a guy who finds himself in extraordinary circumstances. There's not a lot of detail in this movie explaining why Liam Neeson is able to do this. They give you little hints like he was involved in the government. I'm assuming he was like some Black Ops CIA kind of guy.
He was absolutely CIA because his friends at the beginning of the movie, when they come over, they talk about Langley. That's where the CIA is.
But that's like all you get. They do not go in depth about his background.
You don't need any more. Like you would say, okay, just based on that, they're talking about, all that shit that we got into in Beirut, and we got into a scuffle with Hezbollah and shit like that. So you absolutely know a little bit about what his history is if you understand that part of the world and what a CIA person would be involved in.
Right, but they don't really explicitly say it. He just has this set of skills.
You don't need that.
No, and they demonstrate it ever so slightly before the big moment of the movie where his daughter gets taken.
Yeah.
When he goes and he's a security guard. It's a one-night gig for this pop star, and she has like almost attacked by a guy with a knife. They do not explain how or why this man is there with a knife because he was already on the premises before the barricades were broken and the fans swarm it.
Right.
There's no rhyme or reason to it, just to demonstrate that this guy, though he may look older and very unassuming, he is not to be fucked with.
He's got some skill.
He has some skills. So yeah, I think more than anything, you are going to be experiencing Taken through the lenses of these other films. But if you can separate yourselves from those, what did you actually feel like watching this movie?
I had a pretty good time. There was a lot of moments here that were legitimately exhilarating. The fight stuff was very frantic, albeit a little bit too frantic at some points because, you know, what we always say about action scenes and how they're filmed and how they're edited, most of all. You can't really linger on too many of these scenes. You can't really linger on too many of these moments where these guys are fighting because then you can kind of see the strings, as it were.
Yeah, and when you're talking about somebody like Liam Neeson, who was what, 60? Almost 60 when he made this movie? He is not going to move as quickly as like a 25-year-old action star. And you have to enhance what is going on to make it feel more frantic.
And they were doing that, but maybe a little bit too much for my taste.
Yeah, I don't know the director of this movie, if I've ever seen anything else he's done, but it's definitely a lot of quick cuts.
I looked it up and there was nothing in there that I recognized.
For this guy?
For this guy, yeah. But as long as we're talking about, you know, hey, this is kind of an older guy and maybe he's not going to move so quickly. The guy who initially got cast for this movie, or at least was approached to be the Liam Neeson character, was Jeff fucking Bridges. And Jeff Bridges is maybe even older than Liam Neeson. And Jeff Bridges does not strike me as any kind of action star, maybe less than Liam Neeson ever.
I've never seen him do like hand-to-hand combat stuff that I can think of anyway.
No, and you know, Liam Neeson did the Star Wars stuff, so at the very least you can see him, or you have seen him do some kind of action stuff with a lightsaber.
You have done that. You've never seen him kick the shit out of people, or in this movie, his favorite go-to move, the throat punch.
There's so much throat stuff.
There's so much throat stuff in this movie. I seem to recall, going back to 2008, my brothers making fun of that.
The throat punch thing?
I would have to confirm with them, but somewhere deep inside me, I'm remembering them talking about Liam Neeson hates your throat.
You should ask him about that. That's funny.
If I'm remembering correctly, they called Taken Liam Neeson hates your throat.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Well, another thing about the action sequences in this movie is rated PG-13.
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty tame. Like, yes, he is punching throats. He is shooting guys left and right. He is strangling people, attacking people, electrocuting people, but there's not blood. It's really not that violent of a movie for as much violence as he is inflicting on others.
This movie is filled with violence. It's just not gratuitous.
No, it is PG-13 violence. So when you combine the fact it is PG-13 violence, it is Liam Neeson in an unexpected role, it is a pretty cliche kind of story, like the bones of it. Yep. It's just this perfect cocktail of the makings of a great action movie. Nobody expected this movie to be a success. They figured, oh, you know, the people who like this kind of movie will come and see it. Maybe we make a little money. great, whatever.
Yeah, it'll be in the theaters for maybe 3 weeks at most, and we're gonna make our money back at the very least.
But
we'll
it
get
fucking,
a tax credit.
It fucking exploded.
Yeah, it made 10 times its budget.
Yeah, when you're looking at this movie, you can see there was not an intention here for this to be an enormous success the way it was.
Let alone make 2 fucking sequels.
No. And like I said in the intro, are they any good? As I understand it, they're not. Were they necessary? Not really. But when you have this explosion of a movie in 2008,
you have to
you
try.
can't ignore it.
Same thing. I just talked about the Transporter. Did the Transporter need to have 2 or 3 other sequels? Absolutely not. But I'm sure they made some kind of money. I think they even recast. Actually, no. Didn't they make a TV show about the Transporter? I know they made a TV show about fucking Taken.
Until 10 minutes ago, I forgot they made a Taken TV show. But I think you're right. They rebooted the Transporter somehow. I just don't remember what it was.
I feel like they made 1 sequel with Jason Statham, then they recast him for 3, and then they made a 4th one with him again.
Wasn't it that guy who was in Deadpool?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't he in a Transporter movie?
Yeah, I think you're right. The guy who played Francis,
Yeah, the one he always goes, Francis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was in a Transporter movie.
But I mean, I can't get away from these comparisons. I just can't. Now, I think I can separate myself from that movie to this movie and in John Wick just because of the setting and the circumstances and because it's just an action movie.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of depth here.
I would say that the most relatable comparison is John Wick. This is kind of a proto John Wick.
You're right.
In that skeletally, there's a lot of similarity. In John Wick, it's about a guy who gives up this life of being, an international assassin to be with his wife, right? He gives it all up for her. In Taken, it's kind of similar. He is a guy who works for the government and he gives it up to actually have a relationship with his daughter. He has tried over the years, but now is the time where he is really investing in it. He is retired.
The job has cost him his marriage. The job has cost him a very close relationship with his daughter. And the daughter is about to go to college, and maybe he's going to lose contact with her forever if he doesn't make the effort right now.
Yeah, if things had been different in John Wick's life, if he had been able to have a family with his wife, he could have become Liam Neeson in Taken.
Absolutely.
It's
and I think,
not that big a leap.
And as far as the movie is concerned, not just the character, the difference between this one and John Wick is John Wick has a world. They build this world up, this underground world of all these fucking hotels and whatever else.
It's a whole system.
Yeah, I think that's really what makes it different.
Yeah.
The Transporter is one guy and he infiltrates this fucking trafficking circle. Taken is a guy who worked for the CIA, which is a real thing. So he got his skills from that. And of course, he infiltrates a trafficking circle and takes that down. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll get to that in a little bit. But with John Wick, you have this entire world. You have a network of assassins. And I think that's a lot more interesting because it's not so grounded.
Right. But to bring it back to this one, I think the novelty in 2008 of seeing Liam Neeson as an action star was enough to get people through the door. And they were so surprised at how much they enjoyed it that they told their friends who told their friends and so on until the movie exploded.
It's the idea that, oh, it's actually good. You should go and see it.
Oh, yeah.
It's an hour and a half.
Yeah, this is like a really solid 90-minute action movie.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect cable movie, the perfect hotel movie. There's nothing extraordinary about it. I think it was just the collision of time and place and person, all the people involved that made it really successful. One of the people who co-wrote this movie that I totally forgot was Luc Besson. He was the one who did Léon the Professional, a fantastic movie from the 90s.
Yep.
He also did The Fifth Element. He's made some other movies that are kind of, as I understand it, not good.
Lesser.
They're certainly lesser in his more recent work, but this is one that he probably had this thought, this idea. He did it with a writing partner.
Yeah.
And it was kind of just a writing process. Like,
And
just throw it away.
Who knows if this script just didn't sit on a shelf for, 5 years. Somebody picked it up because they got some kind of budget and, okay, who can we get for this? We got 25 million. Who can we get?
Yeah.
Well, we can't get Jason Statham. He's too popular. Okay. Can we get Jeff Bridges? he's not the correct fit. Okay, what else we got? Who can play a father of a 17-year-old?
If you had put some nobody in this movie, no one would have seen this movie.
Absolutely not.
You or I would not be talking about this. We would never have watched it. We probably never would have even heard of this movie. But because they were able to get a Liam Neeson, they've got Famke Janssen in it. Maggie Grace was kind of on the come up because she was coming off of Lost. She was on that show a couple years before this.
And Famke Janssen was in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
And she was kind of a big deal. Those movies were huge. The third one wasn't very good, but that was a movie centered on her.
And it wasn't that long before this movie.
Correct. So you are absolutely right. I think they've made movies just like this with no-name actors, movies that we've never heard of and will never hear of. But because it is Liam Neeson, because it is a quick action movie that is very digestible, it was successful. And, good on them.
So let's get into some of the details of the movie. So it sets up in the beginning. He's in Los Angeles, I think they say. He's definitely in California. His daughter turns 17, and he is, the absent father. He's tried his best, but until now, he hasn't really been stationary long enough to have a relationship with his daughter.
Yeah, and you know immediately what this guy is all about because the movie opens with him dreaming of birthdays past.
Yes.
Yeah, it's his daughter turning 5, and it is the digitally altered footage of what like a camcorder footage would look like back in the 80s and 90s. And he wakes up because I guess he fell asleep thinking about the daughter because he had the photo of the daughter when she was that age on his chest.
He has one thing on his mind in this movie, and it is his daughter.
Specifically, his daughter's birthdays.
Well, it starts off as birthdays.
Yes.
Then it triggers, it's just getting her back.
Yes.
Like, it's her birthday party, and he buys her a karaoke machine because he remembers she wanted to be a singer. And it's like the mom is resentful of him because their marriage fell apart. And she's like, we have this big party. It would be really rude. You know the protocol. Your gift goes over there. She'll open them later. It would be rude if she opens your gift and not everybody else's. His ex-wife is now married to some rich dude. So,
Betsy, you are underestimating how fucking wealthy this man is because holy shit.
He's got so much money that Liam Neeson put a lot of thought and effort into this gift of a karaoke machine.
He read the manual cover to cover a dozen times just to make sure that it was the best one.
Top of the line. He shows up with a karaoke machine and stepdad shows up with a horse.
Right.
He bought his stepdaughter a horse. So it's just a very big difference between the ex-husband and the current husband, dad and stepdad. He doesn't really have a lot else going for him in his life. He's, quote, retired. He doesn't have a job. He just is trying to reconnect with his daughter.
Yeah, he has some friends that are also ex-CIA or maybe even current CIA. I don't really know.
It kind of seems like they're more current.
Yeah,
but
semi-retired maybe.
yeah.
I don't know.
They're a team that have missions. Like, that's the way they described it. But they're currently in California because they're in between missions.
Yeah, and they take these odd jobs here and there like security work. I mean, being in LA, of course, there's going to be a lot of people coming around asking for extra security.
Sure.
So he gets this job for this pop star, and he just kind of goes along with emotions and whatever else. He's being very polite. He's the new guy, and he gets posted in her, I guess, dressing room right beforehand. And I think one of the best moments here is him just being Liam Neeson. Now, Betsy, we haven't stopped to really think about and talk about what Liam Neeson has become in later years and decades since this movie has come out. Liam Neeson has such a great sense of humor about himself, down to the fact that he has been cast in these joke movies like Ted 2 and that fucking Seth MacFarlane Western that we covered.
Well, those are both Seth MacFarlane,
I know,
but
I
yes,
know, but
I get your point.
That's the thing, though.
He's a very stoic man in comedic situations half the time.
And he knows that that's funny. He knows how to make that funny. So him like being very serious and like saying hello to the pop star, and him literally stopping her from going out of the room, asking, "I know this is a bad time, but I have this very innocuous question. I have a daughter who wants to be a singer. What advice would you give her?" I'm about to go on stage at this huge arena, dude. Is this really important?
He's really good at being an awkward dad in this movie.
He's really good at that.
He's trying so hard, and there are just these moments where he slips from that into intense dude mode.
And I think it's also, if he's been in the CIA forever, he doesn't know how to, I guess he doesn't really know or understand like what the popular culture is. Like, let's say if this was like a Taylor Swift, if he was doing security for a Taylor Swift and he had the audacity to stop Taylor Swift from going on stage, I think there would have been, a tussle.
Potentially. He picked his moment very, very poorly.
Yeah.
But it also just demonstrates how he is in dad mode. He doesn't know who the fuck this is.
Yeah.
He has no fucking clue. And when his daughter calls, he tells her where he is. And he says, "No, I'm not attending the concert. I'm working security." "Oh, I'm glad you're impressed." Because that's the kind of thing dads do. They're trying to impress their daughters. It gets harder and harder as daughters get older to impress them.
Yeah.
And in his case, he's been absent. So he has like double the effort required. So yeah, this scene demonstrates really well that he is both the awkward dad and someone not to be trifled with. When he is put in that situation where there's a guy coming at him with a knife, he immediately kicks into action.
Yeah.
And this is the only establishment we get of his baseline of skills up to this point in the movie. And the next scene, he's trying to tell his daughter, because after he saves the day, the pop star says, "Here's a phone number. This is my vocal coach. This is my manager. If she wants to be a singer, we'll see what she's got and make sure she at least gets her foot in the door."
Yeah.
So she's willing and able to help him and his daughter.
And it also shows that, he is a caring person. They're in the back of this car, like speeding away from the arena, and he's comforting her because, he just saved her from being attacked with a knife.
And it was fucking traumatic, and she is in
Absolutely.
shock.
Right.
So he's like, "Here, drink this. The sugar will take some time off the shock," basically.
Yeah. And she's very appreciative of it, and she offers this information, and that gets paid off at the end of the movie, of course.
Well, we've still got some things to talk about, but before we do that, we do need to take a quick break for a word from our sponsor. What's the matter, Billy? You look bored just sitting there clicking that pen.
Well, Becky, I've already listened to this week's episode of Never Seen It, and there's nothing left for me to do. Guess I'll just sit here and click this pen until next Sunday.
Wait, Billy, what if I told you that the Never Seen It crew puts out 4 other shows every month?
4 shows? How do I get those?
It's easy. Just go to patreon.com/neverseenitpod, and for $5 per month, you get access to all their extra content.
Wow, that sounds a whole lot better than clicking this pen.
It sure does, Billy. It sure does. So where the plot really kicks in is his 17-year-old daughter has the opportunity to go to Paris, and he is supposed to have lunch with her, but of course, Mom also shows up and he's surprised, and they have this big dramatic scene where he doesn't feel comfortable with her going overseas unaccompanied. And, they keep giving all these reasons. Mom's like, "I'm married to a rich guy and I don't really have to care so much about these things. She's 17. Let her live her life.
It's fine.
It's fine." And he's in overprotective dad mode because rightfully so, he frankly knows more about the world than these two do.
Absolutely.
But he reluctantly agrees on certain conditions. She goes over there and basically is immediately kidnapped by a human trafficking ring.
Right.
It is like maybe 2 hours she's been there?
Not even. She's coming out of the airport and getting into a cab.
Yeah, the guy.
She's literally coming out of the airport.
There is a guy there whose job is basically to scope out tourists.
He's a spotter.
He is a spotter, and he is this handsome Frenchman. So of course these two dumb girls go, "Yeah, we'll share a cab with you. Yeah, let me tell you exactly where we live. Yeah, let me tell you exactly which apartment we're in." And they're just willfully giving him all of the information
and
he needs.
There's nobody there. We got the place all to ourselves. Ha ha ha.
And within like 15 minutes of that happening, he has already called in the goon squad who come and kidnap these two girls.
Yeah.
But because circumstances being what they are, she happens to be on the phone with her father at the time they show up. And this sequence is basically what they cut for the trailer. Like, if you remember when this movie came out, this is how they marketed the movie was she says there's guys here and he's on the phone.
I do remember
and he
this.
says the next part's really important because they're going to take you. And then it's, I don't know who you are, but I have a
The
very
blah, blah,
specific
blah.
set of
Yes,
skills
yes, yes.
and I'll find you and I'll kill you. And that was basically the trailer. I remember very well this scene because it's become such a memeable joke. But he immediately kicks into, this is what I do for a living mode.
Yeah, he takes out his little goodie bag and starts recording the conversation, puts him on speakerphone, and
Talks her through what to do.
talks her through exactly what to
Yeah.
do, and is capturing whatever audio that is coming in, including voices and, accents.
Yeah. He says, you are going to have about 10 seconds because here's the deal. I can't stop them from taking you. He
Right.
knows this. He's already resigned the fact that, no, you are going to get taken.
So this is how you're going to help yourself. You need to call out things that you see, faces, tattoos, scars, whatever it is, so that I can get some information about them.
Yep. And the whole rest of the movie is him going off of the teeniest, tiniest bits of information and following this trail of breadcrumbs until he finds her.
Yeah.
And it is serious minutia we're talking about here. Like, all he knows is from the recording, 6 feet, blue eyes, tattoo, like stuff like that. It's so
it's very
vague.
minor things.
And he knows they're speaking Albanian.
Yeah, he has to employ his buddy who does an analysis of the audio to figure out, okay, they're speaking Albanian, and this is the background on what's been happening with these Albanians in France.
Yeah, they happen to use a name that is a known individual, and he can say it's Marco and that's this guy, and this
Yeah.
is their whole deal, and you have 96 hours. So now we know who the bad guy is he's looking for, we know what his objective is, and we know how long he's got to do
We
it.
have a countdown.
Yeah, we have a countdown.
Every good action movie needs some kind of countdown.
Yes. But it's just insane. Like, they are really hammering home that this guy is incredibly skilled at finding information. He has a lot of resources.
Yeah, and using those resources.
This is another one of those John Wick things where, it's like, how long has it been? He finds a guy on the street who used to help him with information.
Sure.
Who's like the French equivalent of what he was doing for a living. And again, John Wick spends a lot of time in Paris in a couple of these
You're
movies.
right.
But he just has like little nuggets. He just needs to know, okay, where are they? Who are they? It's just very silly kind of scenarios. He knows that the Albanians run human trafficking, so he scopes out where the hookers are hanging out, and he harasses one until the Albanian guy comes out of the car.
Yeah.
And he plants like a mic on him. This just keeps knocking down the dominoes. Like, the audio that he is able to hear, he gets a translator who says, you gotta go to this construction site, and the construction site leads him to a door, and the door leads him to the guys.
Yeah, it's
and
all very, very convenient.
It's so convenient.
But for an hour and a half movie, you're going to have to employ the fact that this man is very skilled, and the length of time that it takes him to get from A to B to C just makes it that much more impressive. But Betsy, we skipped over a very important part. He goes to the apartment where they got kidnapped from, and he takes her broken phone and takes out the memory card from it, and he puts it into something.
A little
and-
kiosk.
Yeah, he goes to a thing. He goes to a thing and he uses the little thing to zoom in and zoom in and zoom in on the
Enhance.
thing. It is Enhance from Super Troopers. Fuck.
So 2 questions about this. One, they show a few times throughout the movie, he is using a fucking disposable camera.
Yes,
Why?
because he's an old man.
Just to demonstrate he's an out-of-touch old man.
Yes,
Okay.
I think that's exactly what that is.
Sure. Because
So-
this is 2008 where we have digital cameras. So to go back to that,
Yes.
this is what I want to say about that.
Okay.
In the year 2008, I too went by myself with a friend.
Yes, you did.
Specifically, I was in Paris. I probably missed them filming this movie by a few months. Like, I'm not even kidding you, because I was there in April of 2008.
This is after you graduated college.
Yep. And this movie came out in January of 2009, but it had premiered at the end of 2008. So they
Yeah.
probably filmed this over the summer of 2008.
Yeah.
So they were probably in pre-production. I could have seen them film this if I'd come a little later. But anyway, my point is, I was over there in 2008, early days of digital cameras being super prevalent, and I was looking through my pictures because this is the time of year all of those Facebook memories come up.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them now going, I thought these looked amazing with my digital camera in 2008, 2009.
Your 5 megapixel little Nikon cool pics.
I don't know what the fuck it was. All I know is now in
Canon
2024,
cool spot, whatever the fuck.
it doesn't matter. In 2024, they look like shit.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
absolutely.
watching this movie and he's going enhance, enhance, enhance on these fucking cell phone cameras.
Yeah, and
digital pictures.
in the movie, it is depicted as, okay, I'm going to enhance this photo and it's going to be clear. No, it's not. You can't
No.
see that guy's face.
No. And all I kept thinking was, there's no way in the world, there's no way that in 2008 he could zoom in on this picture and figure out who he was looking for.
Yeah, but then after that, then he comes back and he finds a guy who is scoping out the ladies, and we have this fight in this cab. One of the best moments in the movie that I called out as it was happening. The guy who was the spotter runs away from Liam Neeson after getting punched in the ribs repeatedly by Liam Neeson. He runs off and parkours off of this bridge. And I called it. He was going to get hit by a bus, but no, he got hit by a truck.
He did get run
He
over.
got run the fuck over. I saw it coming.
Yeah. And of course, his French friend who is trying to help him, this government agency. Okay,
Yeah.
he's not trying to help him. He's trying to get help from him, and he's kind of refusing. He has got his little government goons from this point on following him around.
Yeah, because he's going to cause some trouble.
Yeah.
He knows what he's capable of.
Yeah, like when he meets him on the street, he says, I found the guy who was the spotter. He was dead. Was he dead when you found
did
him?
you find him like that? Yeah.
Did you find him like that? But this is all he needs. These just little breadcrumbs. And it's, when you stop and think about it, it's ridiculously far-fetched how good he is at his job. Because all he has is like an Albanian dictionary that he writes the words good and luck. And when he finds this red house, he can figure out which one Marco is because he has him say the words. And the way it's edited together, you get that dramatic flashback, like very blurry 2000s action flashback.
We got the he is envisioning what is happening in that apartment as
Yep.
he gets there. He does the thing that fucking Sherlock Holmes does,
Oh,
Robert
yeah.
Downey Jr. does in that movie.
Stylistically, it's very
It's
similar.
kind of like that, and those movies came out around the same time too. But he has this vision of what actually happens there, and it happens later on as well. So again, it is very easy for him to just be this genius.
Yeah. I do love that scene, though, when he actually finds Marco and he gets him to say the words good luck,
Yeah,
and
in
that's
the
enough.
kitchen. Yeah.
It triggers. He knows this is the guy. And he says, you don't remember me. We talked on the phone and I told you I'd find you. And then he just wreaks carnage in this fucking house and kills everybody.
Yeah, just fucking stabbing guys in the chest, and yeah, a whole lot of violence.
a whole lot of violence. But he finds the friend in this
Yeah.
house. So clearly there was some connection.
There's the connection there.
His daughter was there with a friend. She also got taken. She's dead. So now he starts to be worried that, well, fuck, if she's dead, I got to keep looking, but I'm running out of time
Yeah,
here.
and then he takes the main guy, Marco, down somewhere. I don't exactly know where he is.
Some French seller.
Sure. Come and see my band. We're called the French Cellar. But he hooks him up with what looked like fucking knitting needles.
It was some kind of nail or needle, you're right.
Yeah.
And he stabs him in the fucking legs.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to hook him up to the electricity.
Yeah, he just turns on a light switch, and yeah. And I mean, okay, 2008, we're still very much in Iraq war, and we're still very much talking about torture. that the
Yep.
U.S. government was doing.
It was probably starting to come out at this point
And
that we were
there-
really finding
It's
out.
already been out.
Yeah.
But he says something to the effect of, we used to outsource our torture stuff to other countries with very bad electricity systems. And whenever we did this whole thing, the power would cut out for hours. And by then, people got really grouchy.
Yeah. It turned into, you didn't pay the electric bill. Yes, I did. And they focused on that shit instead of torturing the guy they needed to be torturing.
Exactly. And in this one, boy, am I glad that I'm in a place where the electricity isn't going to cut out. And he says this fucking line, like, if you lie to me or something, if you don't tell me what I want, I'm going to turn this on until they turn the electricity off for non-payment.
Yeah, I'm going to electrocute you until you're dead and then some. An obscene amount of electricity will course through your body.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the end, he does it. Like,
Of
he gets the
course.
information he wants and he flips the switch and he walks away. Because, cool guys walk away from explosions kind of energy.
He has very small explosions inside of his body.
But, of course, through his, I guess, effective torture device,
Indeed.
he manages to get a name. And once again, he needs help on how to find this guy. And he goes to his guy in the French government who he suspects has been involved in some shady shit. Basically,
Yeah.
the French government is letting the Albanians get away with human trafficking.
And he already distrusts him because he knows that he's being followed all around Paris.
Oh yeah, he tried to send him home. He wouldn't give him information. He tried to have him arrested.
Yeah.
He tried to send him home again. Then Liam Neeson shows up at his apartment and he goes to the bathroom and pulls his hidden gun, like his secret hiding gun in the bathroom
Don't you
sink.
have a secret gun
I
in the house,
don't.
Betsy?
No, this is America, but no, I do not. And he says, you knew about this and you didn't help me. And this is why you didn't help me, because you're in on it.
Yeah, and
So give me the fucking name.
this information just keeps on kind of being doled out here that, like you said, the French intel service or the government, or whatever this agency is, they're kind of letting all this trafficking shit happen because they're taking something off the
They're
top.
taking a cut.
When he goes into that kitchen to confront all those guys, he comes in there posing as this agent because he kind of figured at that point that it was already happening. And he came in there saying, okay, we're going to increase your cost because you know how much it is. You know how much it costs to adjust the satellite up in space. Man, we're going to just have to pass the cost on to you guys.
Yeah, we have to monitor you all the time, so why not you pay for the cost?
But in this dinner scene, things get very intense and he shoots the fucking woman.
Yeah, he shoots the wife in the arm to impress upon him how serious he is about needing this name.
Right.
His friend doesn't even realize that the gun is empty.
His gun is empty.
Yeah, he says, you've been out of this game so long, you've been behind your desk so long,
Right.
you don't even know the difference between a loaded and an empty weapon.
Yeah.
And he gets the name, finally, and he does apologize. He says, tell your wife I'm sorry for shooting her.
It's just a flesh wound. It's fine.
Yeah, and he goes to this like rich fucks party in this mansion. He kind of talks his way in with like a fake cop badge, and they're having a live auction in the basement of all of these women who are clearly very, very drugged.
Yeah.
And the last person up for auction is his daughter.
Of course.
So at this point, I just want to talk about the whole element of this movie being human trafficking.
Okay.
So I get the sense that if this movie had not been as popular, we in 2024 would not be talking about human trafficking as much as we do.
And that the
That it is-
sentiment here is that it is a rampant problem.
That it is so...
in like the smallest towns to the biggest cities.
Yeah,
it's
that
just
it is
everywhere.
so prevalent that even in our little town in South Dakota that people are being trafficked.
Yeah, there are
I am-
billboards in this fucking city about that.
Now, I am not saying it doesn't happen.
Totally.
But do we really think there is this massive network conspiracy the way this movie is portraying? That dozens upon dozens of women are taken from the Paris airport every month? Like, that is what this movie is
Specifically
saying.
for this purpose, yeah.
I think that this movie had an impact on people's mentality about how prevalent that is. Now, I think it is important to be aware. I think you should definitely not get into taxis with strange Frenchmen that you just met and let
Yep.
them know where you live and shit. but I just feel like it's maybe exaggerated for the sake of the movie.
And even Liam Neeson has been asked about this in the recent past. And he essentially said, yeah, this was a movie. We're playing it up for the movie. You American parents need to encourage your children to get out of the United States sometimes.
Yeah.
But do it smartly.
You should see the world.
Yes.
Do not let a movie like Taken scare you into staying home, like literally, because bad things will happen here, there, anywhere. It might not be human trafficking. A million things that could go wrong in your life.
Most of the time, it's just pickpockets.
Yeah, it's just an element of the movie that I think has bled into popular society since this movie came out. Because pre this movie, the fuck I ever thought about human trafficking?
No, and you just said it yourself. You went to Europe and did an entire fucking tour of not just Paris, you went everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I did not follow U2 around Europe.
You know how 17-year-olds follow U2 in 2008?
Every 17-year-old loved U2. Was this the year of the iPhone pushing out that album? No, this predates the iPhone just a hair.
Yeah. There's so many things in this movie that are completely ridiculous. Number one, the daughter is playing 17, but she's fucking 25.
Listen,
I don't like that.
Okay, she's normally blonde, and I love how by making her a brunette, it like makes her like mousy and youthful.
And they put these dresses on her like that make her look a lot younger.
She's wearing like a fucking bedazzled denim jacket.
Yeah, it looks so unbelievable.
And then, of course, her life is basically saved because she's a virgin. Like, I don't know if you really considered this.
I did, Betsy.
To go back to the end of the movie, she is the last one that is being auctioned off at the end of the movie.
Certified pure.
She is certified pure. And I'm so terrible. All I could think about was that line in What We Do in the Shadows where they're talking about liking virgins. Right. And they're like, think of it that people ask us, why do we like virgins? Think of it this way. If you eat a sandwich, you'd enjoy it a lot more if you knew no one had fucked it first. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, you know, virgins have not been experienced.
Spoiled.
They've not been spoiled. So if it's your desire that the only reason you want a virgin is because you don't like other people touching your things, okay, knock yourself out. But they are going to be the most inexperienced, unexcited.
They don't care, Betsy. That's the thing. Somebody,
I know,
I'm so
fucking terrible saying all this.
I don't care. This fucking sheik is spending 500,000 euro
because he's a big fat guy who can't get laid. Basically,
he needs
that
a
is
sex
what's
slave.
up.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here.
He has to buy it. He can't get it for himself. It's like, dude, this is modern times. Do you know how many women out there will fuck you for your money? Like, honest to God. Like, people get sugar daddies all the time, and they know that the guy they are with is not their cup of tea, but they will do what they got to do to get that money.
For a lot cheaper than 500 grand, too.
Give them a credit card, a couple of diamond rings.
You're set.
Those women exist.
Liam Neeson was just haggling, he was just haggling with them on the streets of Paris.
I'm just saying, like, there are easier ways to get laid. There really are. So this entire process, yes, I'm reducing it to some jokes and things. Like, I do take human trafficking seriously. This is a podcast about a ridiculous movie. So please remember when I'm saying these things, it is a movie.
Yes. Okay, I want to start wrapping up here, but there's one thing that we need to address here, Betsy.
Hit me, Trent.
The friend. The friend is dead. At no time does anybody, not Liam Neeson, not the other mother, not the stepdad, not even the daughter of Liam Neeson, nobody talks about the friend at all.
She is collateral damage, necessary collateral damage in this movie.
She was the one who lied about everything. She was the one who set all this up. She deserved to die.
She did not deserve to die.
I'm
However,
kidding.
she is very like, I'm gonna sleep with that French guy. She's a walking cliche. Like, she didn't tell her friend that, oh, my cousins are in Madrid. They're not actually here. And so the 5th floor, it's all ours. So let's tell anyone and everyone on the street that we're all alone and announce it to Paris.
But my point remains. The fact that nobody even talks about the friend who is dead.
Yeah. They kind of move on very quickly from that point of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not looking for her. He don't give a shit about her. He just wants to find his daughter. He does find the friend.
And I'm saying, yeah, he finds her and he recognizes her. That's all well and fine. But nobody tells the parents of that girl that she's also taken.
He's on a ticking clock, Trent. He's got a very minimal amount of time. He doesn't have time to explain things to these parents.
Maybe those parents could also call the French police and have them start to work on this as well.
Well, I would give him the benefit of a doubt that he at least called the French police and said, there's a bunch of women here, including someone who's dead, so you should probably come take care of this.
But that's after the fact.
Yeah, after the fact. He can't do anything about it after the fact.
No, he can't, but at least... okay.
But he can make it someone else's problem.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Of course, but my point is... Famke Janssen could have called the other parents of this other girl and had them start to do something. They don't have their own Liam Neeson. They got to find their own saviors.
It is a clandestine operation. There is no time to let other people know, because if other people get involved, they're going to know he's coming. And it has to be a secret, and it has to be a surprise. He has to come for their throats. Okay.
The virgin is the most important one, Betsy.
Yeah, he has to save the virgin. He is the hero. And Liam Neeson hates your throat.
Throat punches all around.
That's right. Well, Trent, do you have any other parting thoughts about Taken before we wrap this one up?
I would really like to know what the sequels are about. Who gets taken in those?
I think in one of them, Famke Janssen gets taken.
Because of course.
But by the time we get to the third one, I have no fucking clue. I have no idea.
Does he get taken?
Like I said, maybe he also just gets taken and has to break free. I don't know. I guess we'll never find out because we're not going to watch.
No, we're not. But I also would like to point out the poster for this movie, or at least one of the posters, is, I think, the first one of countless amount of other posters of this ilk, where it's a side profile of Liam Neeson kind of looking downwards. It's a dark, shadowy thing, and he has a gun just kind of on his hip, holding it like he is lamenting the fact that he has to go and do this thing, but God damn it, he's going to have to go and do this thing.
The weight of that gun is just dragging him down.
Seriously, that poster has been remade so many fucking times. And I think this might be the first one.
This movie had ripples, Trent.
It really did.
That's why we covered this one, was because it is clearly a mark of time and a movie that has inspired other things. We talked about it when we watched Braveheart a couple of weeks ago, where if Braveheart wasn't as big and successful as it was when it was, would we have gotten these other big epic movies that came out 2, 3, 5 years later? It's not that big a leap. Same thing with Taken. If Taken hadn't come out and been as big a hit as it was then, would we have gotten a John Wick that many years down the road?
At the very least, it would have been a different kind of movie, maybe with a different star.
Yeah. It's all the dominoes. Like, this movie had an absolute impact. It completely changed Liam Neeson's career. For a guy who said yes to this because he had never been offered this kind of movie, now he is constantly being offered these movies, to the point that in 2024, it's kind of become a joke.
It is a joke.
It's become a tired routine. And now that's all anybody gives him, which is really shitty because he's really fucking good as an actor. He is capable of doing really serious drama.
He did pretty much all of his own stunts in this movie, too.
And he's also, like you said, really funny. He can do a lot of things. So we said it in the intro, but if you want to watch one of the good movies that came after this, go check out Cold Pursuit. It is absolutely ridiculous. Even that one has threads of Taken because it involves his child and something happens to his son. So he has to go after the bad guys. It is not that big a leap from Taken, but it is full of so much more humor than this movie is.
Like, that movie is completely ridiculous.
It is so stupid.
You don't have to have seen Taken in order to get everything in that movie.
Nope.
Like, I hadn't seen Taken, obviously, and I totally got it. But you know what? I kind of want to watch Cold Pursuit again.
We really need to watch that again. It's so absurd. It's like perfect absurdity.
But yes, I think Taken is kind of the perfect, what you said before. It is the perfect cable movie. It is a perfect hotel movie where you can just throw this on. It is dumb fun.
You don't need a lot of specifics. You
No.
can jump in the middle and understand what's happening.
We didn't even really talk about the fucking shootout car chase that we had in the middle of the movie.
That was there.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
Because it's a generic action movie.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to have a car chase. But no, that's kind of all I had to really talk about, Betsy.
All right. Well, that's going to do it then for Taken. Do you love this action movie? Do you have other movies that you can directly correlate this one launching another one that we didn't mention?
Have you seen the sequels?
Yeah, tell us about it. You should email us, neverseenapod@gmail.com. We did get an email from our superfan Stephanie about our first big movie, our 300th movie that we covered here on the podcast. She sent us an email about Braveheart. She said, "Hey, this is one that we also had on VHS. Not sure when I watched it, but I may have seen The Patriot first. My dad was a huge Mel Gibson fan. You know, before we all knew how crazy he was.
Oh, yeah.
This is a pretty good movie despite the historical inaccuracies. When we were in Scotland last summer, I truly fell in love with the countryside. It is a beautiful place with lots of history. I could pretty much understand the accents after a few days. Yeah, you really just have to be engrossed in it, surrounded by it, to really get it. It has been years since I watched Braveheart and would definitely watch it again if I had time to watch such a long movie. You know from my Oscar emails that long movies are hard for me. Yeah, she has a child and she works for a living, and
it's hard for us to
it's
do long
hard for
movies
us,
sometimes.
let alone people with kids. She continues, "Congrats on 300 movies. Big Movie May is going to be great.
It is great.
I recently watched Anyone But You. It was a decent rom-com. Also, it is still Star Wars week, so there's that." Yeah, she sent us this just after the Braveheart episode came out. And of course, she does the May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, all of those movies. So thank you, superfan Stephanie, for sending us that email.
Thank you much.
So that email, once again, neverseenapod@gmail.com. You can send us your thoughts on this or any of the movies that we have covered recently, or frankly, ever. If you're catching up from behind, or you finally played the home game and watched a movie that you had not seen and we covered 2 years ago, we want to know about it. What was your experience? Did we get it right in our predictions of what we thought this movie was? Email us, neverseenapod@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. We're pretty easy to find on all of those. We have the link in the podcast description. Send us a message on any of those platforms. Hey, Trent, do you think they also know that we have a Patreon?
Patreon? What's that?
Well, that's patreon.com/neverseenapod, where for $5 a month, you can get 4 additional shows that come out once a week, every Wednesday. So if you are not getting enough of us every Sunday, you can sign up for Patreon and get Real Love, the Never Seen It Movie Club, box set where we are working our way through the Magic Mike trilogy, and Trent is having the time of his life. Let me just tell you.
Sure.
And of course, the Wayback Machine, where you can listen to Trent slowly descend into madness as his destiny is taken away from him as to what movie we watch next.
Talk about watching long ass movies. Good God, are we having to do that on that?
Yeah, I keep telling you, Trent, if you do not respect the Wayback Machine, it will not respect
It's
you.
gonna fuck around with me.
So yes, $5 a month gets you all those shows plus extra content. We're kind of making it up as we go. We have all kinds of ideas for things that we want to do over there, and we hope you will join us because we are having fun.
It's all about fun.
It is all about fun. This podcast is all about fun. Patreon.com/neverseenapod. And speaking of fun, or maybe not so much fun is the right word, we have one more episode of Big Movie May where we are going to be covering another movie. We're going back to kind of the theme of the other movies that we've covered that were not taken this month.
Yeah, we are going to go back and watch a Scorsese movie that somehow neither of us have seen.
Yeah, Trent hasn't seen it. Betsy hasn't seen it. It is definitely one that we should have watched.
We're going to watch Raging Bull.
So yeah, when I say fun, that's not really the word based on what I know about this, but you're going to have to tune in next week to hear what I actually think I know about Raging Bull. So until that time, we thank you for listening. We hope you'll join us then. This has been Never Seen It. My name is Betsy.
And my name is Trent.
And we'll see you next week.